AEW Dynamite 15th of May review. Let's get into it. Sorry for no mic today, that's just how it is, but that's not going to stop us from doing this review. So, the opening match was Kyle Fletcher and Jeff Cobb from New Japan Pro Wrestling. If you don't know Jeff Cobb, get to know Jeff Cobb, taking on Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson. So, I thought this was going to lead to a match between maybe Jeff Cobb and Jon Moxley. That might still happen, unless it has already happened. But after the match, we saw someone else, which I think is the match that they are going to push for down the line, perhaps at maybe Forbidden Door or one of those pay-per-views. But the match was really good. There was a hot start from Kyle Fletcher and Jeff Cobb onto Jon Moxley as he made his entrance, which forced Bryan Danielson to come out and make the save, or to, even the odds. Danielson's music just kept on playing and playing while they were fighting. I'm not sure what that's about. That's like Anarchy in the Arena type stuff, but it wasn't Anarchy in the Arena. Anyway, they then had a brawl. Then we got the match finally started. Decent match, very good match. Kyle Fletcher, very good wrestler. Jeff Cobb, an absolute beast, powerhouse wrestler. Then we had Jon Moxley. We know all about Jon Moxley, and Bryan Danielson, one of the best wrestlers in the world. So this match couldn't have necessarily gone wrong. And it was really, really good. It ended with Jon Moxley landing the Death Rider onto Kyle Fletcher. Poor Kyle Fletcher. He was always taking the pin in this match. Death Rider onto Kyle Fletcher and getting the win for himself and Bryan Danielson. And then after the match, we saw Takeshita jump Jon Moxley, and that allowed Jeff Cobb and Kyle Fletcher eventually, when he got up, to take out Bryan Danielson. And I think this is leading to a Takeshita versus Jon Moxley match, probably a Forbidden Door, like I mentioned. We then saw Claudio come in with a huge-ass crowbar to come in and try and make the save, and he scared off Takeshita, Jeff Cobb, and Kyle Fletcher. Now, Kyle Fletcher and Jeff Cobb were teammates in United Empire. Not teammates, but faction mates in the United Empire. So this wasn't just a random pairing. It's actually something that makes sense. So good on you, Tony Khan. We then had Adam Copeland come out to the ring before he was attacked by the House of Black. All three members of the House of Black took out Adam Copeland. And then Malachi Black went onto the mic and asked Buddy Matthews to take the ring, his wedding ring, off of Adam Copeland. And in doing so, they choked out Adam Copeland, took his wedding ring. Malachi Black then had it. And then they took out Kyle O'Reilly came in to try and make the save once they had put Adam Copeland in the corner. But Kyle O'Reilly was outnumbered by three other men. And that allowed for House of Black to take him out and to do a three-way attack in the corner onto Adam Copeland with two chairs on either side for Buddy Matthews and Malachi Black. And then Brody King went straight through the middle. So that absolutely took out Adam Copeland. And let's not forget, Adam Copeland was looking for an answer from Malachi Black as to what if he would accept his challenge for this barbed wire steel cage match at Double or Nothing. I don't know why you got to put a hat on a hat and then have barbed wire on a steel cage. Why not just have a steel cage match? But I'll be looking forward to that match. Nonetheless, it should be an absolute banger either way. This segment definitely prolonged it a little bit, which is good. Adam Copeland's been sort of getting the better of House of Black, so it's good that House of Black now got the better of Adam Copeland. We then saw some footage of Eddie Kingston at the latest New Japan Strong event, where he was the New Japan Strong champion. But Gabe Kidd, my boy Gabe Kidd, if you guys don't know about Gabe Kidd, learn about Gabe Kidd. He ended up getting the win, and then after the match, the Elite took out Eddie Kingston, or basically added insult to injury. And speaking of injury, it seems that Eddie Kingston is legitimately injured. So he's out of the Anarchy in Arena match. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I would have enjoyed Eddie Kingston in that match, but it is what it is. The Elite then cut a promo backstage saying that the other team was now down to 3 people, and they were just all braggadocious about the whole situation and saying that they wouldn't really find anyone else. But then we go back to the FTR, and they have an interview where Dax has some words with Okada, and then they also talk about the fact that they think they have already found their 4th member. We then get the Young Bucks taking on Matt Sydal and Christopher Daniels. Christopher Daniels, good to see him on AEW television, right? Or actually on a Dynamite show, working in the ring. So good stuff, but obviously easy win for the Young Bucks. Matt Sydal and Christopher Daniels stood no chance, but after the match, the Young Bucks cut a promo on Christopher Daniels where they spoke about, I think it was on Collision or Rampage, where Christopher Daniels got in the face of the Young Bucks and pushed either Matt or Nick. And So they spoke about this and they said, well, due to this and due to us wanting to get rid of this toxic environment, you're fired. Christopher Daniels has been fired from AEW. Now, I'm pretty sure that he's just fired from AEW. I don't think he's fired just from his executive position. But hey, this is interesting. Christopher Daniels, obviously, he's well loved in AEW. He's a huge name in that locker room for the younger guys. So it's obviously trying to get some heat by firing a good guy like Christopher Daniels. We then had a Toni Storm and Mariah May interview backstage interview, and we found out that Mariah May, Luther, I think they didn't say Serena Deeb, but Saraya is banned from ringside for Toni Storm versus Harley Cameron. Is that her name again? Why am I forgetting her name? I complained about it last week. Anyway, so they all banned. So they were a bit upset by that. And then Toni Storm spoke about some stuff, and I'll be honest, I have no idea what she said. I don't know what Toni Storm said in this. She was using so many weird catchphrases, or not catchphrases, but like metaphors and idioms and all these little things. And I'm like, what are you saying? What are you saying? But it goes with the character, so I didn't mind it too much. We got the point of it that the rest are banned from ringside. That was the important part of everything. We then had a promo in like a dark room from Malachi Black where he was talking about the ring that he got from Adam Copeland and that he accepts Adam Copeland's challenge for a barbed wire steel cage match at Double or Nothing. We then had Hook taking on some random local talent, which he got rid of him in 1 minute. That's not so important. He then called out Chris Jericho, so out came Jericho and Big Bill. They cut back and forth, promo each other. The crowd was chanting retire, please retire chants to Chris Jericho. He then used that to fuel his promo, and he announced that Hook would not just get a chance at his title so easily. He has to earn his shot. So there's a qualifying match this Saturday on Dynamite, and Hook obviously needs to win that to get his chance at Chris Jericho. Then they eventually riled up Hook enough to at the point where he attacked Jericho, but of course Big Bull was there, so he just took out Hook, and then that forced Shibata to come and make the save. Shibata, of course, also having issues with Jericho. This segment was alright. Jericho's learning tree stuff, I'm not a fan of Jericho, but I can see what he's doing here, and it's not his worst work that we've seen in recent times. That's for sure. So I'm not too mad at this. Honestly, not too mad at this. I just don't want silly matches like we've had, and I don't want Hook looking stupid. That's all. We then had Swerve Strickland in a mid-card match taking on Brian Cage. I say that because why is Swerve Strickland not the main focus of the show? Why? Anyway, Swerve Strickland versus Brian Cage. Of course, Brian Cage and the Mogul Embassy attacked Swerve Strickland and turned on him last week. So this is a bit of a revenge match for Swerve Strickland. Very, very, very good match. Swerve tried to land a Swerve Stomp from a powerbomb. If that landed, it would have been really, really cool, but it was he didn't get all of it. In the end, Swerve won with one of his side kick things when he runs past him and kicks him in the head. Super cool move. He got the win on Brian Cage. Brian Cage loses every time I see him on Dynamite, but we'll move past that. And then after the match, he was about to attack Brian Cage with a chair. In fact, he did hit him once or twice. And then out came Christian Cage. But not with everyone else, just him and... what is her name? The woman. Why am I forgetting her name? Anyway, Mama Wayne is what they call her, I think. Anyway, that distracted Swerve Strickland, so then Nick Wayne landed a low blow, and him and Killswitch took out Swerve Strickland. They then had a portrait, like a framed portrait of Swerve's family, which Nick Wayne smashed over the head of Swerve, and he got a nasty cut, it looked like, on his eye and on his ear. I don't know, nasty cut. That allowed Christian Cage to then cut a promo on Swerve Strickland saying, you attacked my son Nick Wayne last year in Seattle at his training, you embarrassed him, so I'm going to do the same to you, and I'm going to take something from you. He then took the paper or the photo that was in the frame and he rubbed it all over Swerve's face, so the blood was all over the picture. Pretty gruesome picture or image if you his family. Not sure it's something you really want to see, but that's what a heel does, I guess. So the story is good, but I just need Swerve in the main event. Make him the focal. Make him what's important about AEW. Don't let him just be another nobody champion. We do not need that. We then had Toni Storm taking on Harley Cameron, and pretty mid. Holly Cameron is not it. Some people might think she's alright. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about Holly Cameron, but for me, it's just not. It's just not it. It's just not it. Serena Deeb was at ringside, basically making distractions, but that didn't mean much as Toni Storm landed Storm Zero and got the win. Easy stuff. Nothing else to talk about here. We then had a great back and forth promo between Roderick Strong and Will Ospreay. Great back and forth with great promos from either one. This was backstage. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. Will Ospreay really talking his shit, saying that how Roderick Strong has never respected him, but he will get the respect from, or he, not even that he will get it, but he will prove him wrong. Great stuff. I really enjoyed this. Will Ospreay versus Roderick Strong is going to be an absolute banger at Double or Nothing. And it's good to see Will Ospreay on AEW TV after he's been away for a couple weeks. We then had the Willow and Mercedes Moné contract signing, and Willow cut a great babyface promo. Every time Willow talks, she just gets better and better, which is good, which is really, really good. She's getting more confident on the mic. She's getting a bigger platform. Willow is, for me, the best babyface in AEW, as in a woman, in the women's roster in AEW right now. The best women's babyface in AEW. And she deserves the praise she's getting. She deserves the spotlight she's getting. She's going to lose at Dynamite at Double or Nothing. We know this, but she deserves it all. She got a great promo. Mercedes cut a heel/face promo, but she wasn't getting the reaction I think she was expecting. There were a lot of boos. There was a lot of murmurs. There was a lot of not really the cheers that maybe she wanted. No CEO chants. None of that stuff happening. And in the end, she ended up slapping Willow. And then Willow put her through the table. So Mercedes Moné is seemingly cleared for action now if she's going through tables, which is good to see. With that being said, Mercedes Moné needs to stop talking and do some action. Her talking is not good enough to constantly be talking and talking and talking. Time for some action. Time for us to see some in-ring work, which is where she excels. Or pre-injury, that's where she excelled. Let's hope she can keep doing that though. Great stuff. Willow, I wish Willow could win at Double or Nothing, but we know it's definitely not going to happen. With that being said, we then moved on to Kazuchika Okada taking on Dax Harwood, and Dax Harwood has so many dream matches as a singles competitor, in my opinion. I love this man's work as a singles wrestler, and as a tag team wrestler is even better, of course. But as a singles wrestler, I enjoy his work a lot. And I'm sure Cash could do just as well, actually. I don't know why they never give Cash the singles matches. He is such a good wrestler as well. But anyway, very, very, very good match. In the end, Kazuchika Okada landed the low blow, got the Rainmaker, and got the win. But like I said, the match was good. Nice DDTs on the outside. Dax Harwood with some great German suplexes and great counters. Good match all in all. After the match, the Elite took out Dax Harwood, but Cash and Bryan Danielson were quickly behind. However, they were again outnumbered by the Elite 4-3. And that's when we saw the return of Darby Allin. Fresh off getting hit by a bus, fresh off breaking his ankle. I'm surprised he's even in the ring already. I'm so surprised. This man is an absolute machine. The fact that he's in the ring already after a broken ankle, I know it was a while ago, but still, Mercedes Moné was out for a year. He got hit by a freaking bus and busted up his whole face, and he's in the ring. It's just crazy, man. It's crazy. Darby Allin, please stay safe in the Anarchy in Arena match. Please don't do something I wouldn't do. Please. Anyway, Dynamite was a decent show. It definitely developed stories. This was a very story-developing episode, which is good. There's stories all around, and it's actually pretty good. There wasn't many meaningless matches for no reason, which is all you can ask for. There wasn't any. Was there any meaningless matches? Let me have a look at. Dax versus Okada, no. Toni Storm, Harley, no, not meaningless. It makes sense. Swerve, Brian Cage makes sense. Hook, local talents, meaningless, but they had a reason for it afterwards. Then they had Young Bucks, Matt Sydal. That one made sense. And then they opened the show with Moxley, Kyle Fletcher, Jeff Cobb. That one is probably the less story-driven match, but there's still some story there, to be honest. So, with that being said, decent episode of Dynamite. Not as bad as last week, that's for sure. Darby Allin making a return, one of my favorites in AEW. Happy, as always, to see Darby Allin back. And with that being said, we'll see you guys next time. Take care. Peace.